Hey guys, it's Maymay, and today we're going to play with the iron-on product that came with my Explorer. It's the Cricut iron-on. I'm not exactly sure which product this is. I'm going to look it up a little bit and see if I can put a link below to some sort of iron-on for you. But I thought I would try it. And some of you may or may not know, but my husband has a cooking channel called Vinny's Vittles, and I will link that below for you guys, where he just does kind of everyday recipes for, the home chef. He's not a chef, he just is a cook, and we enjoy his little recipes. So he wears an apron in almost every one of his episodes, and I've wanted for the longest time to get him a personalized apron, and my plan was to have it embroidered. But then when I got this machine, I thought, I think I can do this myself. So we're going to play with that piece of paper. Now the iron-on that came with my Cricut Explorer is a 6x12 piece. So we're going to start by giving ourselves a canvas of sorts, and what I'm going to do is just go in here and grab a square, just any old square, because I'm not really going to use it. I just want to use it for a like a background. So I just went into insert images. Here's a square, and I'm going to use it because I'm not going to buy it, because I don't need to buy it. It's just going to be here to give me my dimensions. Now I'm thinking for this, the piece of paper I had, like I said, was 6x12. So I know I can't go any higher than 6. So I'm going to make this guy 5.5 inches tall. Now here's how we're going to save ourselves a little grief and not have to use all these little pulley tabs. We're going to come right up here to the top right hand side and click the edit button. When we do that, you get this little menu that offers you a width and a height. I'm going to unlock this little width and height. By unlocking it, I can use this dimension separate from this dimension. If it's locked, it keeps the proportion for you. So here's what I'm going to do. I know I want to make it 5.5 tall. I'm going to try to use all the height on the paper that I've got. And then I think I'm going to go with, I was trying to think, and I didn't measure the apron, and I probably should have. It's probably going to be bad, but I don't think the apron is going to matter that much. It's going to be more toward the paper itself. I think I'm going to do it 10 inches wide, and we'll just see how this works out. So 5.5 by 10, that gives me a lot of room to work with. Now I want to use the name of his channel, which is Vinny's Vittles. So I'm going to type in here Vinny's Vittles. Oops, not a capital. Vinny's Vittles. And I'm going to bring this down, and then I'm going to center the text. So if I come back to my edit box, I can click center. Now I want to use, I'm going to click out of this for a second. I want to use something that's a little more manly than that, because he's always fussing at me like, don't make anything girly. Don't like, he's not going to wear it if it's girly. So we're going to work on making it a little more manly. So we're going to find a different font. Now here's something that's really cool. When you do this, you get this whole font drop down. But notice how these have the price on them, because I don't have the subscription. Here's the issue. I don't want to be tempted by those, and sometimes I am. So I'm going to do this little drop down right here that says all fonts, and change this to system fonts, so I know it's the ones that I have. And I have a lot of fonts because I use them for, like, when I'm making stamp sets and things like that. So I have plenty to choose from. Now I'm just going to go through here and see which one I think is manly enough. And this sometimes takes me a little while. So if this starts to drag on, I'll cut away and not make you guys watch it. But I like to kind of click and look and click and look. So we could be here a few minutes with me deciding what to get. And it's hard to find a manly font. Like, they should work more. I don't know, maybe I should come up with some manly fonts, huh? It's just really kind of hard for that. Not very many manly things out there. He wishes I could do it in the Godfather font, but I don't think it would look good. It probably would, but I'm putting this on his camo apron, and I don't think the Godfather will look as good on there, so we'll do that on a different one. So I like this one. This is called My Own Topher. And I want to tell you, too, if you hear a noise in the background, that's because my dishwasher's going, and life is just life, right? So you may hear that dishwasher in the background, and I apologize if you do. I'm going to kind of center this up a little bit, just kind of mess with it. And I know, well, 5 inches is the center, isn't it? So, oh, no, I did 10.5, so right about here is centered. And I'm going to stretch it a little bit, because I want that to be pretty much the entire part here. Except for the fact that I want to add, I call this his catchphrase. He cracks me up with this. Every time he does a video, he goes, "You're going to love it." So we're going to let his catchphrase be, "You're going to love it." I guess we need capitals. I have a habit of doing that too. You're going to love it. Have y'all ever noticed, if you watch his channel, he does it, "Oh, you're going to love it." He says it all the time, which I think is so stinking cute. Okay, so now we're going to go back. I guess I just think he's cute. Now we're going to find another font. Again, if this takes me a minute, I'll cut away and come back, but we'll see how this does. Nah, too skinny. Okay, so now that I've got this here, I'm going to decide, I really want this to be pretty bold in the center of his apron. So that's pretty bold. And then I want this to kind of hug that. This is where you just play around and get it where you want it. Now, I've not used this iron-on material. I have watched some videos on YouTube. I just did kind of a search and watched some, and I think I've got an idea of how it works. Okay, now I can get rid of this background piece because I don't need that, and I just did that by clicking on it and hitting the delete button on my keypad. And now this is what we're going to look like. Now I want to select it all, and I have two options for that, at least two to start with. I can click the Vinnie's Vittles, hold down my shift button and click the You're Gonna Love It, and now it's selected all. Or I'm gonna click out of that, or I can just go right up here and click select all, and it'll grab everything on the screen. Now if I had any other images I didn't want to be connected to this, I wouldn't want to do that. Now what I want to do is head over here to this layers tab, and I want to attach this. And by attaching it, it lets the Cricut know that I want this to be cut just like this together. It's all attached together now. Now when I click go, the screen will pop up and it will show me what my image is going to look like when we cut it. So that's what it'll look like on the iron-on stuff. Isn't that neat? I think it's neat. But here's one really important tip. When you're cutting your iron-on, the material you put it down face down. So in other words, you're going to put the material on your cutting mat upside down. So it's very important that you come right down here to where it says mirror image for iron-on and click this button. Now when you do that, you're going to see it backwards, and that's okay. That's what you want to do because you need this to be backwards so that when it cuts out backwards on your material, you'll be able to iron it on correctly. So now let's go to the Cricut and cut it out. So this is the material that comes with the Cricut Explorer. It gives you this little piece just to test it out, and that's what we're going to do today. And I want to show you, one side is very shiny. You can see that? This shiny part is actually going to act like our transfer tape in the end. When you flip it over, you have a piece that's not really matte. It's more of a satin finish, but you can really tell the difference. The shiny part should go down on your mat, okay? So you want the satin finish facing up. So now I have the iron-on material stuck down to my mat, and I'm going to load it into the Cricut. Now I'm going to click go on my screen here. And it's going to tell me to load the mat, which I already did. And this is what I love about the Cricut Explorer and the Cricut Design Studio. It's going to remind me to set my paper style or my material style, which I love. Because see how I have it on cardstock right now? I would have forgotten that. So I'm going to go right up to my dial on my Cricut and turn it to iron-on, just like that. So now I know I have it at iron-on. And notice on the screen it changes as well. And now I can just use this little button on the Cricut and say go. And this is the fun part. I love to watch it cut. Not forever though. Sometimes it cuts really slow. So sometimes I'll just cut away, which I won't make you guys watch the whole thing. But it just cuts like butter. You're never going to be able to see it on this white. So I'm going to cut it and we'll come back to it. So it has finished cutting, and it's telling me here that I can click the finish on the screen, or I can just click the unload on the Cricut itself. So I'm just going to click finish, and when I do that, it'll unload it for me. And now we're finished. So now we need to go and weed this guy out and get ready to iron it on. Okay, so I still have it on my mat. I'm going to release this from the mat. Just lift that up. You want to make sure that your transfer tape stays on it. The shiny part. Make sure you don't peel those apart. Okay. Now the next thing I want to do is I want to save as much of this as I can. I know it won't be very much because I really tried to use all of it. But I think I can get just a little bit off the side. It is so hard to see. Looks like I can save maybe this much. That's not very much, but if I wanted to put like my initials or something on something, I could save it that way. So just got my X-Acto blade or my craft knife. I'm just going to cut this away. There we go. So I'm all on there. And then, like I said, it's very tiny, but it is usable. And I'm going to save it because you never know. I could put my name or my initials or something somewhere. Okay, now we're going to separate these two from each other. And you'll see what I mean by that backer is going to be our transfer tape. Now, I watched people do this, and no one did this very quickly. You have to kind of figure your method out from what I have learned. Then you're going to peel this portion off. And you might need to go slow because you don't want anything to tear. And if there was a spot that didn't cut perfectly, you don't want to rip a letter. So take your time because, like I said, you're going to be putting this on something that you're going to want to keep for a long time. So it doesn't matter if you just take your time. It's just a few minutes. Now this part is not sticky at all, so there's no adhesive on here, so I just wanted to show you that, so no stickiness. Okay, so now we're doing this process called weeding, and when I first started looking at all these videos online, I was like, what the heck is weeding? Here's what it is. It's where you weed out the pieces you don't want on your project. So for example, this O, we'll get this center piece out, like so, and then this E. And all I'm doing is taking this little tool and just kind of jabbing at them. And this is one of those silhouette tools for dies. But you could use this or like your Tim Holtz craft pick. Any of that would work. And then this one. And the sticky thing is the transfer part. Because the iron-on itself is not sticky. Alright, so now we are ready to start ironing it on. Alright, I'm going to move us to where we're going to iron. Okay, so this is Vinny's apron right here. And I'm going to add this iron-on piece as central as I can get it and kind of toward the top. Now, the Cricut instructions tell us that we need to use like a ironing cloth or like a pressing cloth. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pull the bottom of the apron up over it. Now, I'm not ironing on an ironing board, by the way. I was doing a lot of research online, and some of the bigger companies like Expressions Vinyl, I watched one of their videos and they said that you don't have to do it on an ironing board and that a lot of times on a safe surface underneath it's better to have a harder surface. So I'm just kind of using my countertop, which will not be damaged. So see, that is not sticking down, so it's not getting hot enough right there. Okay guys, so I was struggling with it with that pressing cloth idea. So I took the cloth off and started to iron directly onto the plastic, and it didn't melt, but I want to see if it helped. Look how easy. Cool, so now he has an apron that says Vinny's Vittles. I'm afraid it's a little crooked. In all the ironing and all the shifting, I think I got it a little crooked, and if I did, we'll just have to scrap it and start over, but that did work. So, if you don't see this on his body, it's because it's crooked. If you don't see it in his video on Saturday. But I'll show you. I think I did get it crooked. But I had to shift it so much with the cloth. Maybe it's not too bad. We'll see when he puts it on what it looks like. But anyway, that's how you use the iron-on that comes with the Cricut. Now, I do have some new stuff coming in. Some HTV, which is heat transfer vinyl, coming in. And I'll show you that when I get it. And my plan is to do about one Explore video a week. I know not everybody has an Explore. So I'm just going to kind of mix them into our videos and just keep doing what we normally do. So I appreciate you guys coming to see me today. Be sure to subscribe. And also, check out Vinny's Vittles. I don't think you'll hate it. There'll be a link in the description below. Thanks for watching, guys. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.